Hello again. I'm here with Rachel once again. Nice to do another round with you.
David Randy, Rachel, R.A. We can't, it's just...
Can't get away from it, apparently. David Ochoa having some tech problems. Hopefully we'll be able to get him in the booth for a round later in the show. But for now, it'll be you and I for the matchup between longtime friends, Bob Maher and David Williams. These two guys go way back to the 90s when they were traveling around playing PTQs together sometimes. So,
wow.
They definitely go way back. We haven't really got a chance to see their deck lists either, so I think we can start by looking at those.
Yeah, this should be a pretty awesome matchup to watch.
I agree. All right, here's Bob Maher's list. Paradoxical Storm. So we got a brief glimpse of this earlier, but this is the combo deck in Vintage right now, and it is good. It has essentially replaced the Belcher deck and the Dark Petition Storm deck because Paradoxical Outcome is just a better engine. It gives the deck a bunch of card drawing and can kill as soon as the first turn, as you can testify.
Yes, I think we got to see the full power of this deck round one, which is usually how I see it sort of operate. It can be brutal. It is very efficient. It has a lot of redundant pieces that find it, so it's just like it's good. It's good versus some other combo decks in the sense that playing other combo decks that sometimes, like, if you don't have your one pieces or you can like draw them very oddly, which I mean can happen, but it happens to this deck less than other ones.
Yeah, it's not like it's a 2-card combo where you have to get part A and part B. It's just your goal in the first turn is draw some extra cards. Could be a Time Twister, could be a Wheel of Fortune, could be a Paradoxical Outcome for 3 or 4. You know, the lucky draws, you get all the way up to a Mind's Desire, or you get some sort of Yawgmoth's Will Kill on the spot. But really, you're just like, play fast mana, draw some cards, and then play more fast mana, draw more cards. Your storm count winds up being a Lethal Tendrils eventually. Now, squaring off against Bob is what's probably the best deck right now. We could argue about it, but I think Mentor still has the best results. Oh, nice. I like this deck list.
Ooh.
David Williams is playing this version of Mentor. Silent Mentor is what I often see it called because you see there on the top row in the middle of the white cards, 3 copies of Stony Silence in the main deck. That is a Rich Shea innovation. He made this innovation in order to, and then used it to win the Power 9 last month. And he made this innovation specifically because he felt like the deck was a little bit soft to Paradoxical Storm. So Williams seems like he has the right deck in his hands. If he can get an early Silence to shut off all of Bob's fast mana, then it should be advantage Williams. But you know what? If you don't get a turn, that's not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I feel like Rich Shea, he always has his hands in innovating some of the best decks because he was also part of the people who were innovating the the new Ravager Ballista. Like, he was kind of like, I remember back during the play-in tournament, he was originally him and Menendian were talking about those types of decks. So I feel like usually a lot of really good decks kind of go back to Rich Shea.
Yeah, he's really been on fire as a deck builder the last couple of months. There is a new Power 9 this weekend, by the way. Public service announcement. Anybody out there who, like me, likes to play Vintage on Magic Online, likes to jump into the Power 9s. I mean, this is the one big tournament a month, right? Are you playing this weekend?
I work. Oh, it's so sad. I know. I
think I actually get to play. I missed the last one. For really good reasons. My daughter actually had a concert. She's been learning electric guitar, so it was history of punk. It was kind of an awesome excuse.
Did you start a mosh pit?
It wasn't quite. There were too many little kids and too many parents holding cell phones recording. It wasn't really the right space for a mosh pit. Definitely thought about it.
But in your heart, and that's what matters.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could see the 3 teenage boys that were also thinking about it, but it wasn't quite the right. It was awesome though. They could actually play. It was nice. It was actually kind of a contrast from your typical school band concert because everyone here looked like they were happy to be there. They were having fun playing music anyway. So I didn't get to play the Power 9 last month, but definitely looking forward to it this weekend.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I always love seeing it because it's one of the premier events that you get to kind of get a lot of information about what the meta is kind of shaping up and looking like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now it's Mentor and Paradoxical Storm, but I don't know. Maybe Rich Shea's still in chat. Maybe he can tell us what we're all going to be playing next week.
Yeah. Or he's going to build something.
Right. Maybe he wants to keep his mouth shut until after Saturday. He has won literally 2 months in a row. It's like, 50 to 100 person tournament, and Rich Shea has just run off back-to-back months at this point. So.
Yeah, and it's been pretty phenomenal. Like a little plug, he also usually streams it, or he at least streams like leading up to it, Vintage, which is always really super fun to tune in and hear his take on like why certain cards and why certain lines. Very interesting, and could definitely be helpful for anyone who is going to also play in it.
Good point. All right, we are. Hotel Wi-Fi is currently winning the battle against Bob Maher's Magic Online, unfortunately. Looks like we might not have Bob's hand cam is what's going to happen. But I'll keep you updated on that.
Magic, kind of like how Magic is normally played. Like we get to guess what's in his hand.
Yeah, I like the way VSL has evolved where we get to see the hands. I mean, especially since this is really it's sort of the one chance where you get to watch a lot of the best players in the world and see every single one of their decisions. Yeah. But there's something to be said for what you say, for just, okay, let's hide it this time. Let's play it from one side. What would you do without the information?
Without the info, yeah. We're spoiled. We get to see when we're doing commentary.
Yeah, I don't know if I would choose to blank the hands of the Storm combo deck if we were going to pick a deck to not watch. But
oh my god, I know that's true because you don't even you can see the hand and still not know if you're not. I mean, you are a little bit more well versed in the deck, but as someone who doesn't play combo, who usually plays against it, like okay, so what are they going to demonic tutor? It's already hard enough to figure out what they're going to get, let alone what they already have in their hand.
Yeah, it's a pretty big match too from today's point of view. We're either going to have 4 players at 1-1 going into the last 2 matches, or Bob's going to be making that run at undefeated, and David is going to be desperately struggling to avoid the 0-3. So,
yeah, a lot rests on this. Kind of going to show which way our group is going to go. Kind of a lot on the line for David Williams, because then it really comes down to the wire.
Yeah, and I know some people have been asking how the next groups are going to work. We will be back next week. Everybody, we will, at the end of tonight, we'll have 12 players who will all have played 3 matches. And then basically we're going to deal them out in standings order. So the best 4 players will be in the winners group, then the middle 4 players, and then the players with the 4 worst records will be in the bottom group. That's the short version. Haven't decided which one of those 3 groups it'll be next week. I've got sort of, once we know who's in which group, it's like, oh, I know you've got some work conflicts and can't play on all 3 of the nights. So I'll shuffle the schedule around once I know which players are in which group. But it's basically 3 groups again. The 12 of us will be divided up. It'll be me and Rich Shea in one group, I know, as the 2 0-3s. We'll see who's joining us. Someone from this group will join us. And then the 4th, depends. It's Eric Froelich. Despite going 2-1, he's currently slated for the losers bracket. So we'll see if that holds up. And then the winners group at this point has Brian Kelly and Paul Rietzel sitting in it. We'll be joined by someone from tonight. And currently on tiebreakers, it would be Rodrigo Togores as the 4th in that group. But again, we'll have to see how tonight plays out and if it's actually Rodrigo. We do know that
a lot is sort of like left to be decided.
Oh yeah. We also know the middle group will have Oliver Tew and Chris Pakula in it. I don't know if Oliver's scholarship will be on the line when the 2 of them play, like double or nothing.
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, I would have beat you, but like maybe not that bad.
I think most people know this story. Chris Pakula is part of the board of the Gamers Helping Gamers charity, which gives away scholarships to Magic players. Basically, Magic players can apply and say, here's why you should give me a scholarship. And Oliver Tew, Pro Tour Wonder Kid, finished top 4 at Worlds last year, got one of the Gamers Helping Gamers scholarships. So he's a freshman in school this year, and that's Chris awesome. Is partially helping to pay his way. So definitely.
Like, hey.
It's fun to watch those guys trash talk each other on Twitter a little bit. All right. Yeah, still fighting Bob's tech problems, but hopefully we'll have Magic soon. Will be a fresh set of decks for the new group. We will know.
That's interesting. I'm always like I have this personally. I sit there and I think, okay, should I play something other than Mentor? But then I just go back. But I could play Mentor.
Yeah, no, the deck's good.
Very good.
I don't know. I had given up on Paradoxical Outcome. I swore off it after last week's catastrophe of an 03, but I don't know. We'll see how Bob does these last few rounds.
Exactly. I know. Then you see like it turn 1 and you're like, wow, that's why I love that deck.
True story. It's also one of those where, like, at this point, I feel like anyone who knows they're in a group with me knows that I'm very capable of falling in love with a turn 1 combo deck. So I don't know. It makes it that much harder for me. I knew in the first set I shouldn't have that many dedicated sideboard cards, and there were still dedicated sideboard cards. So.
I mean, I would be lying if I said you did not cross my mind when I put so much combo hate in my sideboard. I was like, well, at least I know someone's going to play it.
Yep. But
I think it's also just a good deck, so.
Yeah, but I mean, and it didn't help you against Bob. I mean, you had all the hate, just lost the matchup anyway.
That's true. It's cool. Hopefully we see some more like brews. Like I really enjoyed watching Paul Rietzel, I think, played like the Tezzerator deck. That was awesome. That was just so cool to see.
William said has been messing around with some stuff too. David's definitely capable of showing up with a brew.
I know. I think he might maybe just want to save that. Like he wants to kind of do well now. And then maybe like bring out the brews like, oh, I'm already like doing super well. Now it's time to like bring them out. Or I guess you could think of it like I'm doing really poorly. I might as well bring out the brew.
I don't know. I think doing poorly in the first group, I feel like there's going to be more pressure. The most pressure is going to be on the bottom group where last place gets relegated. I don't want to have to slog through the play-in tournament again. That looks hard. Well, it looks risky anyway. I mean, both.
I mean, if you think about the people who didn't get in, they were people who are phenomenal Magic players. So yeah.
Chat is telling me just do not play Dredge. I've actually done well with Dredge in VSL. I'm the one who broke the Dredge curse. You want me to play Dredge? Is that what that look is? You can play Dredge. It's good.
Oh, man. I think I like Dredge. I don't know if she's still in here, but one of the premier Dredge players was, I think she said she was
Erin's been floating around, right?
Yes.
She's been streaming dailies with Dredge. Seems like every time I notice she goes 3-1.
She's doing great. So I mean, she goes to show you you don't need that card. You can play pitch Dredge and you can be awesome at it. So who knows? Maybe we'll see an appearance of Dredge.
Good.
Maybe Oath will make a reappearance. Probably not, but maybe. I mean, I really personally want Merfolk to be good again. I don't know like what crazy universe what would have to happen for that to be. But that would be pretty sweet. I know you originally, like the very first VSL, you played Merfolk.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, it was before the card Monastery Mentor was printed, to be fair. The league's actually been around a little while. Yeah. So pre-Mentor, I think Merfolk was the best Null Rod deck. I mean, essentially you play Merfolk, you play Null Rod, you get Force of Will. Mentor has kind of a better version of that deck, is I think why you don't see Merfolk anymore. Right. Especially like you get to play Stony Silence, which is just better than Null Rod because so many people have artifact hate but not enchantment hate. So it's like your Null Rod is harder for people to deal with, and your like Mentor with a bunch of cantrips just turns out to be better than playing a dozen Merfolk Lords.
Exactly. That's I think the real issue that it came down to with Merfolk was, okay, so I could play Merfolk and I have to play all these other Merfolk to make my Merfolk better to even make them serviceable creatures and serviceable cards in my deck. Where it's like, oh, or I could play Monastery Mentor, this one creature, and then I can just play all of these amazing cards that I would be playing if I wasn't even playing Monastery Mentor. So, and then with the advent of stuff like that, then Pyroblast is floating around a lot, main deck, and like you're seeing a lot more removal, and like all of a sudden, it's not looking so hot for Merfolk.
Yeah, it's the thing that Merfolk does let you do is you get to play Wastelands. Like you get to just play 4 wastes in a strip because you're monocolor. You also get to play Cavern of Souls, which is good in, if people play bigger blue decks. Sure. It's just the single card Monastery Mentor, I think, made the Mentor shell with all the blue cantrips just does the same things but a little bit better. I fear anyway.
It's like when you have to let something that you love go because you're gonna find something that you love even more.
All right. I think we're making progress on getting the match going. Are they?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
Chad.
they're
Did not
ready.
want to listen to us talk.
How about we keep talking, but we'll do it while we watch some people playing Vintage.
Perfect.
The match is ready. Let's get down to it. Hello and welcome to round 4. Bob Maher won the first match with his Paradoxical Storm deck. Even put a first turn kill on the board, paired up against longtime friend, playtest partner, travel buddy, David Williams, who has his mentor with not one but 2 copies of Stony Silence in his opening hand, no colored mana.
But no, oh man.
Yeah. Does look like Williams won the roll, so that's good news for David. Yeah, he have to mulligan the no-colored mana hand. Bob can't quite twist her on the first turn because his Opal won't turn on unless he casts Defense Grid, but you totally keep that hand, right?
I think so.
It's worst-case scenario, it's turn 1 Defense Grid, turn 2 Time Twister, and if he top decks Artifact mana, it gets even better.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Williams is going to preordain and hope that his one mental misstep is somehow enough to defend himself.
Yikes.
We shall see.
Yes, hopefully the preordain, he can find something pretty good off of that.
I mean, he's hoping for Force of Will. It's just absolutely straight up the card he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would keep a Mentor, I think, to try to get a clock going. All right, Strip Mine.
Defense Grid is such a strong Magic card. That's really something that kind of, I don't want to say it's the reason Paradoxical Storm is good, but it's definitely does not hurt it. It gives it a way to interact without actually having to, you just like pay the mana and then you're just, okay, that's it.
Yeah, it's tricky having a deck with a bunch of draw 7s like Time Twister. If you just keep giving your opponent a fresh hand of 7 cards, well, the opponents that have Force of Will sometimes draw Force of Will.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, basic island into Defense Grid. Gonna go ahead and play the Opal. It is turned on, so he gets to play his Divining Top as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that Strip Mine is going to be brutal, though. Bob does not have the 3rd mana for the Time Twister after his island gets stripped.
If you're Williams, like, would you have like thought about misstepping the top? Yeah.
Maybe? Probably
play the
not.
Defense Grid first. He can't. He couldn't have missed it. We were just talking about how good it was. Oh, Time Walks.
Yeah, I like David cycling the Time Walk. It's essentially just a cycle, but you may as well give yourself a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to get to preordain in addition to strip. Yeah, Bob needs to find mana. Now he gets his draw step, and then he gets to brainstorm off the Opal. Oh, gosh. Interesting.
He's going down the rabbit hole.
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Interesting. He gushes to turn into Dak Faden. Instead of using the Strip Mine, he takes Mox Jet. Opal is still turned on, but I guess he gets the mana this way.
It's also kind of like, it always feels kind of nice to get, like, the Jet is also just really good against Maher, even if he doesn't, he's not using it for mana, just to, like, pop it back and, like, draw more with the outcome.
That's a great point. Yeah, I didn't see this line, but I think David's line's really good. Functionally, he deprived Bob of just as much mana as the Strip Mine would have deprived him of, but in practice, he also denied him a 0-mana artifact for Paradoxical outcome and gave himself a bonus mana. Plus, now he's got this DAC for future turns. Good line,
exactly. David. And now he has, now he has the DAC.
Look at that, though. Off the top, Bob drew the Soul Ring. Is that a good Magic card?
Man.
So Bob gets
It's just funny to think, like, how different things could be. Like, if he would have had the Soul Ring on turn 1, he would have definitely played it, and then he would have been able to steal the Soul Ring instead of the...
Well, he would have Time Twistered on turn 1 if he'd had the Soul Ring.
That's true. That's that, yeah.
Now he gets the Time Twister here. He needed to draw +1 mana somehow, and he did it. So fresh hand to 7, defense grid to defend himself with. Tolarian Academy!
Dang,
I was about to say, he still gets a land drop. It's not game yet because he's got to find business off Preordained Ponder, but he's probably going to find business off 3 cards with Preordained followed by 4 cards with Ponder. He essentially gets to see 7 cards here. Oh, I forgot. And there's Divining Top as well.
Mm-hmm. Something that I like that he's doing is he's not just like running out the Tolarian Academy because he doesn't know what's in William's hand, and there's like a good chance that he just has 7 hand. Like if he has Strip Mine or anything like that, if you don't have anything that's going to end up doing anything, you'd rather just not play it and save it for like a turn that you have something. He's
going to top the Brainstorm because Tolarian Academy gives him approximately infinite blue mana, or he could bottom it. It's actually funny. Like I thought it was just obvious bottom, but so much blue mana that just getting 1 card deeper with Brainstorm has some value here, even without a reshuffle. Yeah, he bottoms it. Okay, fair enough. And it comes up with a Black Lotus, which is probably worse. This Ponder needs to hit. Sure, play the Chrome Mox. It's time to tap Academy, so get it all down there. I guess if he whiffs on the Ponder, he'll reshuffle, draw something blind, and then he's got Divining Top. Mm-hmm. So he still gets to see 7 more cards.
It seems like he has had this turn a high probability of finding something that's gonna...
I mean, the Tendrils is lethal now. Demonic Tutor is lethal now. And any way to draw cards, you're basically just looking for the Tendrils. I assume that was a shuffle, because I don't think he would have kept Probe on purpose. Oh, Paradoxical Outcome.
Hey. Hey, put it in the deck to draw it. That's
yeah. This is the point where you do not pick up the defense grid, so
I'll leave that one right there. Thank you very much. You can keep your 3 Gitaxian probes.
What did he just do? He just sacrificed his Lion's Eye Diamond and sent Outcome to the graveyard. Was that on purpose? Does he know that the top card is a relevant thing, or did he just mess up the execution here? Like, he was doing a Sensei's Divining Top trick, which, okay, fair enough. I actually didn't realize it, but Outcome's an instant, right? He could pick up the Divining Top with his Outcome and get the card draw from the Divining Top, but yeah, he just messed this up. He was not supposed to sack Lion's Eye Diamond. He just accidentally discarded his Paradoxical Outcome. Oh, boy.
I'd be like an oy vey.
The first trick was cute. I had not seen Outcome with top that used quite that way, but yeah, Lion's Eye doesn't work there. Finds a Voltaic Key and Fizzle.
Oops. I think I might have frozen. I'm just stuck on top, so I'm stuck in this bad situation of discarding the Outcome.
Yeah. I don't think Bob wants to see that again. I mean, what Bob could have done is he could have cast Paradoxical Outcome and then sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond. I mean, I think that's what he was trying to do. And he messed up the order in which he did it. Like, it's totally reasonable. What he needed to do, I believe, was cast Paradoxical Outcome, hold priority, sacrifice Lion's Eye's response. That's what he was attempting to do, and he messed it up. And now David has found a Monastery Mentor. He's got a Gitaxian Probe. Yeah, I mean, if your screen is frozen, Rachel, you can just restart. Yeah, Bob giving us the LOL. I'll handle this solo. I don't want you trying to do commentary without being able to see the game.
I'm like, what's happening?
Man, that's a shame. Bob basically had that game and just messed up the execution of it. So he redraws the Divining Top that he put on top last turn. This will let him look. I mean, he does still have a defense grid. So this game isn't over. he's still got Williams in a weird spot. Okay, Williams does have 3 mana because of the Mox Jet that he stole, so he's just going to straight Force of Will this Divining Top. All right, do what you got to do. No Divining Top for Bob. He knows the next 2 cards are garbage also, or Bob would have chosen to draw them last turn. So Bob is essentially Brainstorm locked. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hopefully,
yeah, I was just like stuck in that loop of seeing the like it just was showing like the top trigger and then like the paradoxical outcome in the graveyard, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a horrible thing to see over.
Yeah, while you were gone, Bob tried to replay the Sensei's Divining Top, and David just paid 3 for Defense Grid so that he could Force a Will it. So Bob is essentially Brainstorm locked at this point. Williams is, well, he found a boat full of gold. Now
We're going on a cruise, boys and girls. Everybody buckle up.
Stony Silence is actually not a complete catastrophe here because Bob has Tolarian Academy, so he does still have access to enough mana to do things. It's all blue. He's basic Island Tolarian Academy at this point. So that's less than ideal. Wheel of Fortune. He found another card, but the Stony Silence means he does not have red mana.
Yeah, the Stony Silence is still somehow, even with Tolarian Academy in place, somehow finding a way to just dagger.
And Williams finds a Wasteland. Down goes Tolarian Academy. Wow, yeah, we're done.
Wow, this game was super duper unexpected.
Oh, no, I mean, look, it's a punt. Like, Bob just plain punted. He messed up the order in which he executed his turn. And instead of winning the game, lost the game. It's hard. I mean, you can't have a more extreme swing in win percentage than when you accidentally discard your approximately game-winning spell. It's like I draw, what was it going to be, 10 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe it was only 8 or 9 cards, but I draw 9 cards, one of which we see was a Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, the game was Anders Defense Grid. The game was over.
It's kind of one of those things I wonder if he was playing this in real life, if that would have happened, like in Paper Magic.
Well, it's a lot easier to just say, I outcome, and then his response, sack. It's...
Yeah. See, Magic Esport, you need dexterity. I'm always afraid I'm going to do something like that. Like, try. One time I think I like accidentally tech edged myself because I couldn't, I was trying to like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. No, we've all done something like that. Yeah, LED, the ones where you have to hold priority are particularly tricky.
Or like Flusterstorming a Flusterstorm. I'm like, basically, I'm just like throw my hands up and say like, hope it works out. I'm just gonna.
Oh man, if it wasn't for the Stony Silences, Bob would have Vault Key as well. Yes, I mean he does have a fetch land. He can dream about casting this Wheel of Fortune. It's just so hard for him to get enough mana to string a big turn together with Stony Silence in play. This is game 1, too. Those are main deck Stony Silences that are really paying off here. If it wasn't for the Stony Silence, Bob would win this despite punting it away.
So good, too. Now he has 2, so if he, like, so now he's, like, looking into, like, a chain, like, sacking for the Chain of Vapor to be able to get rid of both, and then you're just...
I mean, what does he even have main?
Creek.
Main deck, he's got 1 Chain of Vapor. Yeah, I don't think Bob has a way out of this. Rich Shea in the chat complimenting David on the design of his deck.
Wow, this is such an amazing deck. I mean, it is, too.
And Bob has seen enough. Too bad to see it go down that way, but, I mean, look, that's part of the game of playing on Magic Online. Gotta sequence stuff right.
It's an unfortunate reality.
All right.
About the Stony Silences, like we were talking about earlier, is it's good against like the outcome decks, and it's also really good against like these new versions of the shops decks. So
yeah, I agree. Just seems like it's in a really good spot in the meta right now. Or the meta's in a really good spot for Stony Silence, however you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else? What else does David have in the sideboard for this?
I don't know.
David's got a Mindbreak Trap. He's got Pyroblasts, and it looks like they've all come in.
Seems good.
Yeah, fair enough. Now he has to decide what to take out, though. It's the tricky bit. Swords to Plowshare is probably coming out. Just part of the reason it's, and a Blightsteel gets a little tempting.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely.
Bob,
is he going to bring in his Blightsteel then?
I mean, they have deck lists, so he does not need to bring in a Toxic Deluge. There's no hate creatures in this version of Williams' deck. He knows it's about Stony Silence and it's about Pyroblast. Bob can bring in lands. I don't think that's what he's going to do. I mean, there's, what, 2 Wastelands in a strip?
Yeah.
In Williams' list?
It's not kind of like their main, it's not Mentor's main.
Yeah, but it's there. Yeah, I mean, I think Bob just has to play to get Stony Silence off the table. There, you see him looking at the deck list. He's like, it's the same spreadsheet I am. There's a second copy of Chain of Vapor in Bob's sideboard. I think he has to bring that in. Other than that, I think you fight the permission fight. You bring in +1 a second defense grid, and you bring in Flusterstorms potentially.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it looks like they have decided.
All right. David Williams up a game. Trying to get a match win on the board. Bob Maher will be on the play. That draw looks pretty good. What's the blue card? Let's play Identify.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it looks like Recall. Like the edge of it kind of looked like Recall.
Stop with the Recall. It's Ancestral. Showing my age. There's another card called Recall, and we used to play it. It was restricted 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Ancestral.
Yeah, anyone who played in the 90s will call Ancestral Recall Ancestral because their Recall was a relevant Magic card.
Oh, that's kind of, I can appreciate that. That's kind of like people who call Flip Jace Baby Jace. I'm like, yo, you can't just forget Jace Bellerin. Like, that's the, like, wow. He can hear you.
Such a perfect name, though. I think we get to retcon Bellerin to just OG Jace. He doesn't get to be Baby Jace anymore.
I mean, I guess Flip Jace is babier,
Right.
I also like saying Baby Jace, and I do play Flip Jace more. So, I mean, I'm personally down with that.
All right, I'm in. Pretty interesting sequence on the first turn there, though. Bob had Defense Grid, but he had 2 Moxes as his mana sources. So Mindbreak Trap was turned on. Mindbreak Trap countered the Defense Grid. Williams is like, untap land Mox Stony Silence and misstep your Ancestral. Come on, David. He's got a family. What are you doing?
God. That is brutal. Like, he's like, let me look. I might not even have anything. And he's like, not even, man. Not even. Like, pick it up, go home.
No mana. He has a Chain of Vapor, but Williams is already sitting on Force of Will blue card. Oh, he's going to use his blue card. No, he's thinking about it. He's like, I kind of want to find the mana for Mentor. No, I think this is the right play. Hold on to Force of Will blue card.
I think so. There's nothing else that now he has, if he wants, he has the deck that he can pitch.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue, and he showed it there.
Finds a Tundra, so now we can play Mentor next turn. Oh, second Chain. Maybe we have a game. But I mean, Chain right now, I guess if Bob draws the mana he needs to cast the Chain, then successfully bouncing Stony Silence would in fact turn on Wheel.
Yeah, we're kind of in that situation where it's like
Williams had Tundra, and a Ruby that was turned off, but he top decks the Volcanic for his Pyroblast and his Jace. Must be nice.
Feels good, man. This was a convincing.
Wow, yeah, this game's been just a blowout. Wonder who's going to win game 3.
You need mana to be able to play Magic.
Oh, the misstep, too. When he knows Chain of Vapor is basically the only relevant card at this point, Bob can't win through Stony Silence. Not realistically. like Blightsteel is about the only way he can win through Stony Silence. And not only, I think Bob's right not to bring in the Blightsteel, by the way, because David has multiple Dak Fadens. Blightsteel Colossus, not recommended against a deck with multiple Dak Fadens.
Yeah, definitely. Could definitely see that coming back on you.
Boat full of gold. And I guess we got kind of a circuitous path to get to the quartet of 1-1 players, but looks like we're going to have 4 players on 1-1. Anybody could still win the group. Anybody could still lose the group, depending on the last 2 matches.
Yes, we have to keep it so exciting.
Yeah, this is probably the result you wanted.
I mean, I definitely did not want it.
Fair.
I was so nervous. I was like, as long as I don't go 0-3, that's my goal in life. So.
What's wrong with going 0-3? Lots of things are wrong with going 0-3.
I was like, it's ancestral. I won't call it recall. Man, it's like, well, look at my riches.
Oh, is this just lethal? Force of Willing his own Mock Sapphire. Just showing off.
Yeah.
That's 8 and 7. Yeah, that's 15. So Force of Will on his own Mock Sapphire gives Williams the 2 prowess triggers he needed to win the game right there and then. He had it anyway. I don't think there was anything Bob could possibly have top decked at that point. So David Williams wins 2-0, and we have a quartet of 1-1 players. There you get a look at it. Thumbs up and thumbs down. So the next match will be Bob Maher against David Ochoa. So Paradoxical outcome against a bunch of Thorns and Spheres. It is a winnable matchup. I don't think it's terrible because this, junk like Walking Ballista doesn't really help from the workshop side, but die roll in game 1 is definitely going to be very important. Looks like you're going to hang out in the booth, and David will be in to join you shortly. You have to quiz him on whether did he think about conceding when Bob messed up the LED. I don't think you're supposed to concede there, but you can needle him a little bit. It's a good friend over there. He just got. You know
what though? Maybe if he had won his first match and he's like feeling a little generous, he's like, all right.
Yeah, there's no way.
He's like, play like I gotta win.
No, I would have played it the same way. All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back with match number 5 right after this.